Just like us, our furry friends can face some pretty serious health risks because of stress. Even mild anxiety is a concern. Over time, it can cause issues that may chip away at your dog's health. But here's the catch. Stress in dogs isn't always easy to spot. Unlike us, they can't simply tell us when they're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. So in this video, we're going to talk about 8 definite signs that your dog is experiencing stress and how to deal with it. Number 8. Whale eye. So this is actually a pretty simple thing to spot. It's when you can see a lot of the white part of a dog's eye, which is called the sclera. Normally, when your dog is chill and happy, you don't really see much of this white part. Think of it like this. They're in a spot where they're stressed or feeling a bit nervous. What they do is, they try to look away, but they don't want to turn their head away completely. So they just move their eyes, and that's when you get to see more of the white part. It's like they're keeping an eye on whatever's bugging them without facing it head on. You might catch this whale eye look in a lot of different scenarios. Say someone they're not super fond of is getting close, or they're hanging onto their favorite toy and someone's reaching for it. These are moments they might give you the whale eye, which is basically their way of saying, I'm not okay with what's happening here. Number 7. The freeze signal. Picture your dog suddenly becoming as still as a statue. They're not moving, not even a bit. This is actually a serious sign that they're feeling stressed or scared. This whole freezing business is like a survival tactic handed down from their ancestors. Back in the day, staying still could make a dog less obvious to something scary, like a bigger animal. Nowadays, your dog might freeze when they're faced with something that makes them uncomfortable, but they don't see a way out of it. You might notice this happen in various scenarios. It could be when someone unfamiliar comes up to them too quickly, or if they're around another dog that gets a little too close for comfort. Essentially, it's their way of coping with stuff that freaks them out. Number 6. Yawning. When it comes to dogs, a yawn doesn't always mean they're tired or bored. Dog experts think that when our furry friends yawn because they're stressed, it's kind of like them trying to calm themselves down. Now, here's the tricky part. How do you figure out if your dog's yawning because they're sleepy or if it's a stress thing? Context is key. A stress yawn tends to happen when they're not in a sleepy mood. Picture this. Your dog's at the vet, or perhaps in a new place that's a bit overwhelming. And suddenly, they let out this big, long yawn. That's probably not because they need a nap. What's really fascinating is that yawning can catch on among dogs, just like with us humans. If one dog starts doing the big stress yawn, you might see other dogs around start yawning too. Number 5. Chuffing. Have you ever heard your dog make this soft, almost sneezy sound? It's like a gentle puff through their nose. Not a full-on sneeze, but more like a quiet snort or chuff. It usually happens when they're feeling a bit stressed or unsure about something. Think of it as your dog's way of letting out a bit of that nervous energy. It's not as in-your-face as barking or growling, but it's still a pretty clear sign that they're not 100% cool with what's going on. If you start to notice this little chuff sound more in certain situations, like say in specific spots on your walks, when they meet certain people, it's probably your dog's way of saying, I'm not totally okay with this. Number 4. Hiding. When a dog is feeling stressed, one of their instinctive reactions can be to hide or seek solitude. This behavior is pretty straightforward. If they're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, they might decide that the best course of action is to remove themselves from the situation entirely. Your dog may retreat to a quieter, more secluded spot, like under a bed, behind a couch, or any space where they feel they can have some peace. It's not just about physical spaces either. A stressed dog might also avoid interaction with people and other pets. It's not that they don't love you or want to play, they're just feeling too stressed to engage in their normal social behaviors. Number 3. Tucked tail. The tail is a very expressive part of a dog's body. When they're happy or excited, you'll see it wagging energetically. But when they're stressed or feeling threatened, tucking their tail helps them to communicate their emotional state to other dogs, animals, and even to us, their human companions. From an evolutionary perspective, this behavior can also be seen as a protective mechanism. By tucking their tail, dogs are covering their sensitive areas. Number 2. Panting. If you notice your dog panting excessively and there's no obvious reason for it, like it's not particularly hot and they haven't been exercising, it might be a sign that they're feeling stressed. When dogs are stressed, their heart rate and breathing can increase, just like in humans. This rapid breathing can lead to panting. It's a physiological response to the stress they're feeling. Number 1. Over-grooming. When dogs get stressed, they often turn to grooming, but it's more intense. They keep licking because it releases endorphins, those chemicals in the brain that make you feel good. So, in a way, they're trying to lick their stress away. Here's the catch. This stress licking can actually hurt them. If they keep at it, they might irritate their skin, create sore spots, or even get infections. Of course, excessive grooming can also be down to other things, like allergies or skin issues, so it's always good to check with your vet first. What to do if your dog is experiencing stress? When you realize your dog is stressed, the first thing you want to do is identify the source of their stress, if possible. Is it a particular noise, a new environment, or maybe the presence of strangers or other animals? Once you know what's causing the stress, you can start to address it more effectively. Now, if the stressor is something you can remove or avoid, that's your best bet. For example, if it's a particular person or animal causing the stress, try to limit your dog's exposure to them. Next, create a safe space for your dog. This could be a quiet corner of your home with their favorite bed and toys. The idea is to have a go-to spot where they can feel secure and relax. When they're in this space, make sure they're not disturbed. Don't forget about calming techniques. This can include gentle petting, speaking in a soft, reassuring tone, or even using products like calming sprays or diffusers that emit dog-friendly, relaxing pheromones. Training and positive reinforcement are also vital. Teach them commands like sit or stay, which can help them focus and divert their attention from the stressor. Always use positive reinforcement. Think treats, praise, and affection whenever they respond well. Lastly, always be patient and understanding. Stress can cause unusual behaviors in your dog, but remember, they aren't acting out on purpose. They need your support and kindness to help them through whatever is troubling them. Did you know that many beliefs about our dogs are simply not true? Like the idea that dogs only lick us out of affection, or that showing dominance is the best way to train them, and even the belief that a wagging tail always means happiness. So check out this video where we uncover the truth behind these widespread dog myths. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and join our doggy-loving community.